In the last episode, I shared like the aftermath and the heavy numbness. I can't even call it depression. It took place a couple weeks it was more than a couple weeks, like a month after the incident happened. I'd say after about 2 weeks, like things started to get better. I ignored a lot of phone calls, text messages. I was still in the place where I didn't feel like talking really helped. And when I did talk, I felt like I was a burden. About 3 weeks in, I remember having a meeting. The intention was to talk about strategy. And it somehow spiraled just into just my shit. The team had done everything that they could to fill in the gaps, to pick up the slack. But I have a lot of responsibilities. And I felt like I was just shitting the bed and letting everybody down. So many things that I needed to create, and I had finally gotten my business to the place that I've been trying to get it for the past 10 years. I've finally gotten my life to the place that I wanted it for the past 10 years. I have dozens of people on my team. I had done a monthly review for all my team members, and it was the best monthly review ever. Everybody was between an 8 and a 10 on every element of the business, the clarity that they had in the role, the joy that they had in the role, the confidence of their department in able to meet their goals and objectives. Very few things that we needed to improve on. I had my dream team, everybody in their lanes, everybody paid well. And my only job is to create content and coach. And I couldn't bring myself to do it. I disappeared from social media for a while. I couldn't bring myself to be on camera. It was a lie, like for me to put anything out there, because if I didn't want to lie, I would have to just spew my shit onto the internet, which I was dying to share. I really feel like for me personally, there's a whole lot of healing and sharing. We're only as sick as our secrets. And I believe that demonstrating the strength and agility and the connection with God and the strategy of business and the construct of systems all put me in a position to be an authority. And then you're admired for that. I feel like it's so important to share when you're in the gutter, when you're in the ditch, when you're in the shit, because everybody gets there. And it's good to know that you're not alone. It's good to hear how others struggle gracefully. It's good to know that you're not the only one that's suffering behind the scenes, even though on the outside, everything looks perfect. And I was in a meeting with the team and I lost it. Still not to the point where I felt like I had fully gotten it out, but there was a breakdown. And I still hadn't experienced rage or crying. And still to this day, I haven't. And it's been almost 6 weeks since like the incident. And Jason was encouraging me to do this like primal scream of just like letting it out. And something inside was like, I don't feel like doing that. And if I do, I feel like it's going to be forced. And I'm not going to force myself to do anything that I don't feel like doing. Not right now, at least. When I struggle, I create. That's my therapy. I create shit. When I get angry, when I built the workflow system, it's in the action planning system. It's because some asshole stole 10 grand from me by me hiring him and him not doing jack shit and me not being able to understand what he was doing during the day. So I was like, fuck that. Fuck him. Fuck everybody. I'm creating my own way of doing this. Fuck the books. Fuck the systems. Fuck the certifications. Fuck it all. I'm going to do it better.
Speaking of angry, I just realized that I had the wrong microphone on, and that makes me angry. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've been producing video since I was 12. Check your fucking levels, Spencer. God fuck. Jesus fuck. This is what my life has gotten to. This is a perfect fucking example of it. Because once I finally feel Like I'm able to sit in front of a goddamn fucking camera. This shit is painful. This shit is real painful. You know how long I procrastinated on getting on camera today? 13 hours. 13 fucking hours. And then I get on with all this beautiful equipment and I don't check the fucking mic. And this is like what I don't have space. I don't have mental space for this shit. This is where I'm at. Backed up into a fucking corner with a pile of shit that I gotta create. Tons of fucking trainings that I gotta create up and down my fucking wall. My new marketing team wondering where the podcasts are. My clients wondering where the fucking trainings are. My fucking tech team wondering where my fucking funnel videos are. Where are the emails? And I've been sitting in bed like a tiny little baby, like a toddler, just suffering. And I finally get the shot to do it. And what happens? I'll tell you what happens. My fucking computer breaks. Try finding a new Mac computer in Costa Rica. Good luck. I had to have a buddy come in from Chicago, smuggle it, have it get caught into customs, have it sit in customs, take 2 hours to get to customs on a Monday, sit there for 2 fucking hours, pay $700 to get it out, and then drive 2 fucking hours back. To lug all this shit out here to Costa Rica was a goddamn nightmare. And I have it. A beautiful mic, beautiful screens, and I don't turn on the fucking mic. You've got to be kidding me. This is where I feel like I'm broken. I don't fuck up like this. Fuck! Prior to this, I couldn't remember the last time I screwed up. I can't remember. I had like a string of like 2 years of damn near perfection in everything that I did. And I feel like a future Hall of Fame athlete that just became a paraplegic and has to learn how to walk again, but is still required to perform in the season. And all I want to do is lay on that couch and fucking do nothing. And then when I finally get the courage and the strength to do it, I fuck it up. Oh God, the new market. To my marketing team, my podcast producers, I'm sorry. Sorry, I fucked up. I fucked up the beginning of this one. I fucked up the last one. My creative director fucked it up. Sorry. To you listening, I fucked it up. Fuck. I feel like I've got just a lot of weight that I was carrying. And then I just already like with the business. And then the baby came and then it was more weight on my shoulders. And then I had to move. It was more weight on my shoulders. And I got all this weight on my shoulders. And then the fucking spiritual Tanya Harding came by and busted up both my fucking kneecaps. And as I'm in recovery, the weight gets heavier and heavier because life doesn't stop working. It keeps moving. The rest of the world doesn't give a shit what I'm going through. The work that I do helps people put fucking food on their table and pay their bills and their team's bills, and not just like my team, my clients, and then my clients' teams and stuff like that. It's enough pressure in and of itself, let alone all the additional shit, let alone being broken. Even through all of that, with all the additional weight, I still crushed it. God, fuck. Ah! And that setting changed. I didn't change the fucking mic setting. Why would I ever change the mic setting? Why would I use a shitty Mac mic when I got a beautiful SM7B here? Moving the mic like an asshole, like I'm actually talking it. I'm physically sweating. And what do you do? What do you do in situations like this? Can't stop. Quitting is an option. Quitting is always an option. Don't ever forget that. You may always quit. You've always got the permission to quit anything. But if you do, then like, what's the next plan? And the next plan's harder than continuing with the current plan. So quitting's not the option. You just have to deal with it. You have to keep moving forward, whatever that looks like. And it's okay to loathe. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to curl up in a ball. It's okay to ask for some space from your team, from your clients. It's okay to veg out in front of the TV and eat a lot of junk food and numb yourself out. But understand this, it will eventually catch up with you. So at some point in time, you've got to take moments to force yourself to do the shit. And that's what this podcast is. It's me forcing myself to do this shit, even though I don't want to. Even though I don't feel like it, I want to. Because when I had that breakdown with my team, I was like, I don't want to scream. I don't want to punch something. I want to create. That's what I do with my struggle. I create. I'm an alchemist. I take chaotic energy. I flow it through my intention, my heart. And what comes out is something that has beautiful intentional order, that has value and wisdom or fun, some type of positive value. And that's when I shot the first episode. And when you get that momentum, because you're still fucked in the head for some reason, your attention to detail, which is the very thing that reason that I'm sharing all this, is like your level of mastery is a direct proportion to the detail that you deem to be significant. And so when you miss details, you are less masterful in whatever you're doing. I've been producing videos since I was 12. I know how to do a check. And then it's so much like, you might be thinking, oh, damn, Spencer, you're being really hard on yourself. It's just the audio. No, you don't understand. Like, it's more than just the audio. It's my identity. And that's why when I was talking to people about this podcast, they're like, you should make it the business efficiency podcast. You should make it the precise language podcast. You should make it the breakthrough podcast. And all these like top 5 things. You fuck that. Jesus fuck. I'm sorry for any of you who are offended by the type of way that I swear, but fuck that. That's not how we learn. That's how we like build shit. Yeah, I'll send you a template. I'll send you a training, but all of that is in efforts to create the story, your story. Those are tools to build the story that you tell at the end of your life, the story that you tell at the end of your day. The stories that you tell your clients, the stories that you tell your kids, the stories that you tell your friends, the stories that you tell the people that you mentor to, the stories that you tell your mentors. Are you able to tell stories that you can reflect on and look back fondly at and be proud of? All this other shit, strategy and operations and values and all the other stuff that you can find on the internet for free, those are the tools. No one ever in the history of anything ever wanted a tool. Nobody ever wanted a hammer. Nobody ever wanted nails. Nobody ever wanted wood. What they wanted was a home to build their family, to serve as shelter, to build memories. You get the tools to build the home, to get the stories. That's what this is about, the stories. And then sharing the tools that were created in order to mitigate through the challenging part of the story, the precise language, the workflow, the team onboarding, the meeting structures, the conflict resolution training, all that, the action planning, the calendars, the bookmarks, I could go on for forever. And just when you think you're up, back, and running again, you're going to trip and bang up your knee, just like when I realized my audio was shit. It's okay to get angry, feel it, let it flow through you, and don't stop, because your mission's important. And like I said before, like, struggle is universal. So anytime that anyone's telling me, it's like, oh, you don't understand what I'm going through. Fuck you. If we had to go through what you went through in order to get you, nobody in the history of anything would ever understand anything about you, because you're the only one that lives your experience. That's stupid. That's victim bullshit going on. You may be going through your own shit. You might be going through your own tough relationship with a significant other or a friend or a team member or a client. You might be struggling with how much you're smoking weed or drinking alcohol or staying up too late watching Netflix or distracting yourself with food or, pornography. I don't know. Nevertheless, like, what makes struggle universal is it affects us similarly, where it holds us back from creating the story we want to create, being the person that we want to be, behaving how we want to behave, operating the way we want to operate. They're separate monsters, but they're part of the same family that have the same outcome, to fuck you up. And I want to let you know that it's to be expected. Struggle is to be expected. Best way to handle it is change your perspective on it. And to change your perspective on struggle is so important, because when we think that it shouldn't be this way, the pain comes from not necessarily the circumstance, but the disparity between our expectation and the circumstance. Once you change the expectation to be closer to the circumstance, suddenly the circumstance doesn't hurt so bad. When it's 50 degrees in LA, everyone's fucking, terrified, freezing, complaining. It's 50 degrees in Chicago or in Canada. Gosh, people wearing shorts. Expectation relative to the reality. The closer the expectations to the reality, the less harsh the reality seems. Struggle is going to happen. It comes in waves. It will get better. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel bad for yourself. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to indulge in some self-destructive behaviors. The things that are universally not okay to do is you got to communicate. You got to speak up. You got to let people know where you're at. Let them know that you're okay. And then there is a time where you will have to take moments to force yourself to do the thing that you don't want to do. And then take a break from it. It's like working out. Force yourself to bust through those last 3 reps and then rest, and then do it again and then rest. And soon you'll build up this resilience, and it's going to be sloppy at first. I sat at my computer today for an hour just staring at it, being like, oh my God, I can't focus. Oh my God. But I just stayed in it. And then I finally got it going. I was like, oh, I'm feeling good. And I shot that last podcast, and then I shot this one. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. And then I was like, you piece of shit. My whole business and identity is built around my shit works. And then my audio fucking is broke. Just like, oh, God damn. Keep on going. Feel it. Forgive it. Let it go. Keep going. The reason I love entrepreneurship and I've decided to put the majority of my attention to entrepreneurs is because building a business is one of the most revealing processes of character. My buddy Alex Moscow would always tell me, he's like, we don't have business problems, we have personal problems that show up in our business. And the intention of these first 6 episodes was not to tell you what you need to do to grow and scale your business. I mean, those are the people that I want listening to this, those who are trying to grow and scale their business. But I'm just trying to tell the story of the process of ups and downs. It's going to happen, and you can quit. And I want you to strongly consider quitting, because this shit is not for everybody. It's not. I remember my dad was given an opportunity to buy the business that he was working in, that he worked for. He was number 2 dude. They were selling. And I was like, Dad, buy it. So I was like, I'm the entrepreneur. I'm like, yeah, buy it. He's like, oh, I like my position. I like not having all that responsibility. I like having my lane. And he does well for himself. They're getting all their retirement shit set up. They're doing great. He said no. I strongly want to encourage you to consider quitting. But if you're really an entrepreneur, you really have a strong vision, you really have a gift, you really give a shit, you're really talented, there's always a way. And there's 3 things that I'm primarily going to be focusing on in this podcast. 1, the most important thing is the relationship that you have to yourself, to your creator, to your own thoughts, the connection that you have to your heart, to all of your energy centers, to the universe, the connection that you have with others, the connection, the awareness, the mindfulness, the communication, the energetic exchange. It is the most important part, because if you don't got that shit together, you could have the protocols and the excitement in the marketing to cure cancer. If you're not right in the head, if you're not right with people, if you're not right with God, the creator of the universe, with energy, the field, whatever the fuck you want to call it, don't fucking matter. It'll never get done, ever. So it's the first thing I want to focus on. The second thing that I want to focus on is culture. What are the values that you are living? So once you have that relationship to yourself and your inner world, now let's get really intentional on what you expect in terms of the way that you interact with the outer world, the way that you expect the world around you to treat you and treat each other. That's what culture is. You build a strong culture, then you're able to be agile. And in this day and age, you must be agile or you will die. Not physically, your business will die. Be able to adapt, because if you don't change in a world that changes every 2 minutes, you're done. So building strong team through culture and values and process. Third is systems, training. How do you operate in a way, like logistically, in order for you to have a universal way to turn a thought into a result. And so this is the way that you run your workflow, the way that you work your calendar, the way that you organize, the way that you strategize, the way that you sell, the way that you market, the way that you deliver, the way that you lead, the way that you run meetings, the way that you set up your office. So there's no shortage of stories to tell about these things. But I wanted to start these first 6 episodes because amongst those 3 things, the relationship with yourself, the culture that you build, and the systems, there's a skill in there that is the most important skill in the world. And a lot of us secretly think that it's perfectionism. Oh, if I could just be more perfect than everybody else, then I'd be successful. No. The story that I'm trying to tell is one on how to struggle with grace and vulnerability and courage, how to struggle out loud in the face of resistance, how to struggle even though it's humiliating as shit. And where I'm at right now is the complete opposite of who I see that I am in terms of like a level of excellence. Because if we all struggled out loud and gracefully and watched each other struggle gracefully and out loud, had empathy for that, I think first that if we did all do that, it would create more empathy in the world. They say that people experience depression and anxiety because of social media, because all that everyone is showing is the highlights. Imagine what it would do if we shared our struggles, did it gracefully, and were able to like receive empathy and give empathy. And we used social media for that as well. Told the whole picture, the whole story, and not just showing my beautiful background and being like, living the life. I mean, I like shooting those too. It's great. That's not the whole story. I think that there's a big change coming in the online business coaching industry, social media. I think we just went through a phase where we were using it to communicate information. And then all of a sudden it started to like communicate how perfect your lifestyle is. And I think we're going to go into the next evolution of like communicating what's real. And those are going to be the winners because really we're all on these silicon boxes and devices because we want to connect like for real, not just see how perfect your ass is and those like yoga pants that like cradle your ass crack, make you look like you got an ass even if you don't got an ass. It's more to life than that. I think in sharing the struggle is where the deeper connection happens. It's my intention. That's my wish that you'll maybe be inspired to do more of the same, sharing all of it through telling your stories.
If this video resonated with you and you are ready to scale your growing business, then come join our free Facebook group by clicking the link below.